Oh, I'm so OCD about my shoes. It's not even funny.
Did you hear about what happened with Mark's ex-girlfriend? She's a total psycho.
Oh, I am so depressed about my test score, I could just slit my wrists.
Did you notice? Not many people do. But the phrases we use to describe people we think are different matter. The fact is that nearly everyone knows someone with a mental illness. They are your friends, your loved ones, your neighbors, and coworkers. Up to 50% of people will experience a mental health disorder at some point in their lifetime. Using insulting, destructive labels only cause harm for people with mental illness, and all of us.
People use this kind of language mostly with their friends.
Words like crazy or psycho, wacko, things like that are so ingrained into our everyday language and the vernacular. It's not really something we're paying attention of because it doesn't hurt us.
Just talking with guy friends, they'll often describe their encounters with girls as them being crazy or psycho or clingy, and she won't leave me alone, and
the politicians and NRA representatives and members of the community alike say things like, that psycho, that lunatic should never have been able to get a gun, their hands on a gun.
It makes me really angry, but it also makes me kind of laugh a little bit. Like, just the ignorance that people show by using any labels at all.
One thing that I have a really big issue with is when people say retarded. It's not, it's a serious disorder, and it's not something that should be made light of.
I think it's important for people to just be more aware of the words they use, because you may not be impacted by mental illnesses, but people around you most definitely are. And so I think just being hyper aware of that and realizing that the words you use do have the potential to hurt others.
I lived most of my life not aware that I had schizophrenia. Mental illness gets bandied around so much that they don't realize we can have normal times too. We're not all the ones that walk down the street screaming. That with meds or with proper counseling and treatment, we can be normal. Saying somebody has mental illness because they go and kill a bunch of people is sort of like saying everybody has cancer who has a pain inside. It's not something you can bandy around. It has specific diagnosis. It has a specific symptoms.
We may not understand their mental illness. We may not experience that on a very personal, deep level, but they very truly are experiencing this problem.
You don't really understand how hard it is for people with mental illness until you meet and become very close to someone who has it.
You can tell your friend, like, hey, that's not okay, like, I would prefer you not to use that in front of me, here's why.
Hey, like, when you say that, that's actually not what that really means, and I know someone that's gone through this, and at first they might be a little taken aback, but I think when you educate people, it has a much more lasting effect.
We just need to be more careful about how we use our language, and maybe just be more sensitive to the fact that there are a lot of people who do have mental illnesses as well.